Hello, this is Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at a video where Karen gets her husband knocked out. So let's have a look at the video.
Shut up! Shut up!
She told you to shut
No!
up.
You shut up and get the fuck out!
Touch me. She hit him first.
Yeah, she slapped him in his
Get his
face!
glasses. Somebody get his glasses.
Go out there! No, because that's them. They need to start.
So that's a classic Karen maneuver, the old slap, and it's landed her husband or fella or whoever it is. It says husband in the title, but I doubt it's her best friend, although it might be a beta orbiter. Let's assume that it's her boyfriend or a fella or whoever she felt it was okay to talk down to. I just want to start off by saying, like, when I've posted other videos, like with the Kevin Samuels videos and stuff, I get a lot of people commenting in there that the attitude that the woman has is a lot to do with race. And I disagree. I think aggression is inherent in all human beings and it's expressed differently. And no matter what race you are and what sex you are, everybody is prone to aggression and to express it in a certain way. Men tend to be more physically violent in the masculine, and women tend to use reputation destruction more, which is feminine. But both men and women are capable of using reputation destruction and physical violence. So I could talk about this for a very long time because there's so much in here. But let's just start off and go through it in order.
Shut up! Shut up!
So you see the way she's talking to him there, where she's saying, shut up, and all this kind of stuff. That's disrespect. I don't need to tell you. And men, and you see the way he's kind of just like sitting there, like he's used to it. If she has children or anything, she probably talks to her children in the same way. You can't allow someone you're in a relationship with, man or woman, to disrespect you in that way. It's not right.
Shut up! Shut up!
And what's happening is these men are tolerating this disrespect. And so therefore, the women think it's okay to then talk to other guys like that. But not all guys are pussies like he is. Now you can see this gentleman, he's talking to the guy. He's not actually addressing her. She's the one butting into his face and getting up in his personal space and shouting in his face and pointing, and it looks like there's some touching that goes on. But he's essentially trying to talk some sense into the guy, but the guy's like away with the fairies, just like, well, what are you going to do? It's the old wife, innit, or whatever. It's like... So now when she's saying get the fuck out, it's very difficult to actually see what goes on here about who touches who first, but it kind of looks like they've touched hands or something's happened. It's very difficult to see. Let's have a look. But I mean, even just from the outset, you can see that this guy here with the hat on is all cool and chill, and he's like Clark Kent, and underneath he's Superman. And he's sort of like, he's just very relaxed and all that kind of stuff. Even when the fight does take off, he's still very calm, cool and collected. He's controlling his aggression because he has to, because that's what you have to do as a man. Whereas the females tend to be able to just be more aggressive, and they get away with it because their husband lets them, because society lets them, because other women allow them to bully them. You know all this stuff about you shouldn't hit a woman? Well, I think you shouldn't hit anybody. There's no need for it. So they've touched somehow, whether he's pointed or she's pointed. It's very difficult to see what she's doing with her right arm. It looks like he's doing, but again, he doesn't seem like an aggressor. He's saying, don't touch me. And then just immediately after he says, don't touch me, and pushes her back, she slaps him around the face. That's the disrespect. Now you see what he does here? He immediately gets his fist, but he's not doing it to hit her. That's not his intention. He's just doing it as like, because he knows he can't hit women, especially in the crowd, and all the other sociological factors that you can see are obviously there. So she's slapped him around the face and he's like, don't, it's like a warning, don't do that. it's kind of like, and she cowers, but he wasn't going to hit her, as you can see. Now, as he puts his fist down, that wakes her husband up. Now he comes up as Captain Savaho, and he starts pushing him. Like, but this man so far hasn't actually done anything wrong by the looks of it. I might be wrong because it's not the best angle. It's better to have a side angle, but from the angle that I'm looking at, you know, and perceptions can be deceiving, but from the angle that I'm looking at, she's been the violent, aggressive one and pushing him around and then slapping him when he's asking her not to touch her. It's like when she's pushing him, he's pushing back, and then he says, "Don't touch me," and then she's slapped him. It's just sort of like saying, "Shut up, are you crazy? Don't act like that way to me." You know, if you go up and hit a lion in the balls, he's going to roar, isn't he? Like, he might not go and chase you and bite you, but you're lucky if you get away with the roar. And that's what he's done. He's basically said, "Don't do that." That's what that means, because he wasn't going to hit her, because he didn't. So he's controlled his aggression and his instinctual reactions to defend himself. Meanwhile, the husband gets up, got all the bollocks in the world now, hasn't he? He wouldn't say anything to his wife. He completely ignored that guy a minute ago. So far, this guy hasn't actually done anything. The guy gets up to defend his physically violent wife. So his wife slaps him, and then the husband gets up. So it's almost like he's saying, "Oh, what, you're not going to let my wife slap you like she slaps me?" Like, he's defending her still. And so I love the way he just kind of adjusts his glasses, because he's like, you can just see it in his brain, can't you? Like, right, let's get a good shot at this guy so I can punch him right in the face. Just get the right spot. And then he attacks him, and then she gets in the way. So he doesn't fully punch her. Again, he's kind of like slapping her, but with his fist. And because if he really hit her, I mean, you see what he does to this guy in a second. If he really hit her, she'd be like down. So he's just kind of pushing her away more than anything. But he goes to town on the guy, because like, here's one for you, and here's one for your ugly, stupid, pathetic, disrespectful wife. And again, I don't condone violence. It's just making light of the absurdity of this situation. And it's a very difficult, you know, just in terms of a fight, you know, you've got chairs in the way, going away at his knees, and it's all a very messy thing, as fights tend to be in real life. And you can see after he's given him a couple of corkers and he's just like laid out, you can see, oh, that's enough. Again, it was more of a self-defense. And now look at what happens here. The guys come in to separate them. Now, I think that's a good idea, because I think if a couple of feminists came in, it might have made it a little bit worse.
She hit him first.
Yeah, she slapped him in his
Get his
face.
glasses.
She's still talking to him like that. Sit down, sit down. Nasty monster, isn't she? She's still aggressive, pointing and all this kind of, it hasn't woke her up. She still doesn't get it. She still hasn't calmed down. Everyone else has calmed down and think, oh, hang on, that was a bit out of hand. She's still going. And then, of course, the crowd, you know, get on the side of the guy and all that, and by saying she slapped him and stuff like that. And she's still all antsy and stuff. Good old Karen.
No, because that's them. They didn't she did start.
All the aggression. So, yeah, you see this all the time. It starts off with a snide comment and it ends up to a smacking contest. And then she thinks, oh, it's okay to disrespect the man I'm with, therefore I can disrespect all the other men. And it turns out you can't. There's action and reaction. And when you take this negative action, you're going to sometimes get a negative reaction. Not everyone's just going to take it. So there's a lot more to say on this video, but that's what I'm going to do for now.